What's up, guys? River and I just got back from our trip to the Midwest. We spent about a month there, pretty much the whole month of May and a little bit of June. But, you know, I did a week's worth of work and then I went to the SOK Bracken Creek training seminar and then roughly spent about 2 weeks at Southern Oak Kennels North, where I got River at. The whole trip was a crazy experience. You know, the whole reason why I wanted to go back was to shadow and learn and train under all the trainers at SOK North. Wally's hands down one of the best trainers I've ever seen. This is my first year in all of this gun dog stuff, but I wasn't expecting to learn and to see the amount of stuff that I did going into it. And I came out with a hell of a lot more than what I thought what I would be coming out with. You know, I just wanted to touch up on some of the points that I didn't see as a first-time trainer, so hopefully that, you know, whoever's watching this doesn't make the same mistakes that unfortunately River and I have so far. So with that being said, you know, watching Wally, it was pretty insane because he was able to be extremely decisive and read the dog and know what the dog is going to do before the dog even knows what it's going to do. And he can correct or praise off of that. And you know, with that comes time and experience. I tried to ask as many questions as I could and become like a fly on the wall essentially. And yeah, it was crazy. And then also honestly, the biggest takeaway for us was having his perspective of the working relationship with River and I. So at first, coming into this, we were coming in hot and heavy. In our training, you know, we were moving right along. We introduced frozen birds or live birds before this trip. The second we got to the seminar, you know, we came to like a screeching halt. River did not want to retrieve. He just wanted to go in what Wally calls his fuck off mode. And yeah, like the whole time while at the kennel and the whole time at the seminar, you know, River just wanted to do his own thing. And it was really frustrating. And so when Wally gave his perspective on River and I's working relationship, it was pretty insane because at first, you know, I thought River was a soft dog, but by no means is he a soft dog. Yes, he's sensitive. Like if I go up to him and he knows he's done something wrong, he'll kind of like cower down. So I never like would touch him or anything because I thought, you know, he's submitting, I don't need to correct. When in reality, that's just him kind of testing me and seeing what he can get away with. And then he doesn't react upon that. So in reality, he's a pretty hard dog. Like you have to pick him up by the scruff or give him a spanking or two for that to kind of like register in his mind, like I've done something wrong. I need to act on that so I don't get that correction again. And so that like changed the game for us. That little insight from Wally, because you know I always thought he was soft, and the other thing was like I never really faded out food with him, and I've conditioned it so much to where like I didn't realize that food was his highest priority on his list. That's the highest reward, highest priority. In reality, it should be the bumper and the retrieve itself. And you know that was almost at the bottom of the list of his list of rewards. You know, now we're spending a bunch of time trying to reprogram not only our relationship, but what he finds as rewards. So, you know, we're trying to wean off the food and kind of teaching him like, and holding him accountable for what we're doing. It's a struggling process, but I don't want to get off track too much. That piece of information that he gave me was amazing. Like that would have kept going over my head, or that is the foundation of all our problems so far. And I would have just kept on hitting these big roadblocks. So yeah, I'm very thankful for that. And then also it was interesting to watch Wally work with River as well, because he was able to react faster, give the proper correction and praise when needed. We had to essentially reschedule our lifestyle with River. So instead of letting him free range and do what he wants to do from here on out, you know, we have more kennel time throughout the day. And when he comes out to use the restroom, to say hi, and then to work. And it's one of those three things. And of course to eat. You know, we found some success in that, and it's just gonna be a slow transition. One of the things that both Don and Wally were saying, aside from adding the new daily schedule or lifestyle change with River and I, you know, if we find no results after a couple months of doing this, to also consider using an e-collar. You know, that's something that I'm not opposed to, just because I don't want to shut out that option, because learning at the kennel, you know, some dogs react completely differently between, you know, a verbal correction, a physical correction, and also a e-collar correction. Some dogs react differently. They might be not sensitive to a physical correction, but also sensitive to a e-collar correction, or vice versa. And it's, you know, whatever's the most effective for both you and the dog, or to react from, learn from, and move forward with confidence. I think e-collars get a super bad rap for being too hard on a dog, but ideally, you know, that's not what you want. You want the dog to be bold and hard charging, and you just have it, you don't burn the dog type of thing, because that makes a dog nervous, not confident and bold with what it's doing. You know, you want it to feel the discomfort and learn from the mistake and move on with confidence. And, you know, that's the whole goal of the e-collar. You know, I don't think we're at that decision point yet, but it's something that, you know, I'm considering, and that's something we would incorporate in the future if need be. One of the things we need to go back and do, the advice that I was given from Wally, is to play like the Wally game with him. And, you know, I'll have a little overlaid clip of, you know, Wally working with River right here. But essentially it's just keeping him engaged with you, keeping him excited. And whenever something's right, you know, where you'd click and treat, you give the bumper, or you give a little retrieve or something. You know, and if he wants to mess around, then it's like, no fetch. Like, this is your job type of thing. We've just been playing the Wally drill and kind of not losing focus on what he's learned in the past, because he's fairly advanced in the basic gun dog skills. You know, he knows double marks. He knows 180 lining memories. He knows marking and cover. He knows lining. You know, he knows all these things, but I was teaching him when the bumper wasn't his highest reward. So now we'll do like 1 or 2 of those tasks a day, and that's it, outside of trying to have fun with him with playing the bumper game. So I don't think I've messed up the dog completely with that. It's just an uphill battle at this point. And it's not that he doesn't have any retrieving drive. It's just that he just has a mind of his own at times, and he wants to do what he wants to do. And I would not call it that it's in the breeding. I think it's something that I've done as a first-time trainer. And I wouldn't call it a big mistake, but it's definitely a mistake I've done so far. It's just something I gotta learn, or that we're learning, and we're gonna push through it just like everything else. It's just, it's a little frustrating at points, you know, when your dog doesn't want to retrieve sometimes. It's frustrating. But I mean, overall, the experience at SOK was insane. I've learned more in those 2 weeks than I ever thought I could have. And it was amazing watching Wally work with very young gun dogs all the way to his finished personal dogs. And you can see the progression in between. And it was outstanding to watch the progression of those dogs too. It wasn't just getting like little glimpses. It was like you see a fair amount of progression from each dog. You know, that really solidified that, you know, River and I can do this. We just got to keep pushing and keep trying new things and reaching out to pro trainers, because we weren't not reaching out, but we weren't like trying to get help from the trainers that we trust every time we had an error. My biggest takeaway, and what I want to tell you guys, is like, man, if you're having any issues whatsoever and you just want to bang your head against the wall, like, reach out to someone that you trust that trains dogs and has a similar training method what you're following right now. If I never would have reached out to Don and Wally, if I could go shadow under them, we would be in a very different situation than what we are now. And it's good that we're finding this out now so that we can keep progressing, change our mindsets, get ready for this upcoming season. Also, it was great seeing Angela and all the puppies and all the mamas there too. You know, they had like 4 litters on the ground at one point. So it was pretty hectic on the puppy side. But River's mom, Belle, she had her last litter into retirement, but I thought it was really funny, and Angela noticed this too. River and Belle both have this same like hum. They call it Belle's Irish hum, which is kind of funny. But she goes like hum 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 when she wants something, and River does the exact same thing in the morning or if he really wants to complain, it's like a really small whine, and like the pitch and tone and cadence of all of it are the exact same from Bell to River. So I don't know how River picked that up from Bell, but you know, we were at the kennel and River starts doing the Irish hum, and Angela's like, oh, I thought that was Bell. And when we were up with the puppies and I heard that, I was about to go hush because I thought that was River, but it was Bell right behind us. And I was like, wow, that's kind of crazy. Anyways, and I just wanted to thank everyone for watching this video, and also thank Don, Wally, and Angela for producing an amazing puppy for Robin and I. And thank you for letting us watch and learn under you guys for a couple weeks, because that was amazing. And you know, hopefully River and I can push through what we got going on and keep moving. And I also want to thank Josh, Keith, and Barton for producing an amazing training program that lays the foundation of not only teaching River, but also teaching myself and the whole CGA community for helping us thus far. And you know, if you don't have CGA, I highly recommend the training program. I'll leave a link down below if you are interested to get 50 bucks off if you purchase one of their packages. You know, there's a lot of training programs out there that are really good. I just think CGA is a great one. So please like, comment, and of course subscribe to see our weekly videos. Catch you guys in the next one. Peace. Man, this thing's gonna suck to edit. A lot of jump cuts.